So, if you guys have not been keeping up, Destiny is done. There will be no further updates. There will be no further updates to Destiny. Since Bungie officially announced Thursday that the live service development Destiny 2 was coming to an end, which they announced right here. God damn it. Many longtime players, I find myself reminiscing about the good old days of dreaming about what could have been. In light of a Bloomberg report indicating that Destiny 3 is not in development and reports that Bungie is planning for a significant number of layoffs, some of the franchise's most interesting plot threads may never get resolved. Among them is all the narrative built up around, I guess that's Shivu Arath. I'm pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. The Hive God of War, which might never amount to anything. So this is an article where people are just reacting to what won't happen. But the main article I'm going to get to actually is here, which is Bungie ending development. Bungie had originally planned on launching an update called Shadow and Order in March of this year that would have been direct follow-up to last year's Star Wars themed Renegades. That would have been followed by other major expansions called Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. But in February, Bungie announced that Shadow and Order had been delayed to June 9th. That's now the release date for the game's final update called Monument of Triumph. So to give you guys a little bit of backstory about me in regards to as this game goes, I did play the first Destiny, and I did play Destiny 2, but I kind of fell out of Destiny 2, mostly because they were doing some bullshit with the transmogs, how they were like consumable instead of like just being able to have it. And I was like, you know what? I am not looking forward to playing this anymore. I think it's kind of stupid. But I'm not the biggest Destiny fan, I'll admit it, but I play Destiny. So seeing this, I understand that there were a lot of people who diehard Destiny fans who are crushed by this. Understandable. Totally get it. I understand that being promised so much content and then finding out that your game's basically being shuttered in like a month, for all intents and purposes, right? Sucks. You thought you were going to get Shadow and Order. You thought you were going to get the Shattered Cycle of The Alchemist. And then they tell you not only is it delayed, but now we're calling it the Monument of Triumph, and that's it. I would be legitimately mad. And in fact, a lot of people are legitimately mad, right? Like this whole article is talking about how they built up this villain that'll never come to fruition. I hate that shit. I hate when plot threads are not finished. I hate the tease. I hate all that shit. But you want to know what I hate? You want to know what I hate more than that, though? I hate when people do dumb shit like this. Was it worth it, Bungie? Were the DEI hires worth it? Your $250 million DEI flop just killed one of the biggest looter shooters to ever exist. This shit, I even said I hated it. You motherfuckers are beyond saving. Just remove yourself from the gene pool if you think like this, because what kind of idiocy allows you to form a thought like this? Fucking morons always using Women's Day photos as some kind of scapegoat to prove they know shit about gaming. Because of course, of course, let's not go after the heads of Bungie. Let's not do that. That'd make too much sense. Why don't we blame women? Why don't we blame women? Why don't we blame women? Oh, what do all these posts have in common? The companies are failing. It's not that they're women. It's that they're progressive dumbasses that do what they want, not what the paying customers want. It's simple. The pick on the left made Bungie a world-renowned studio. The pick on the right raises to the ground. I'm not the brightest LED on the strip, but the true Destiny killer. But Bungie made a number of glaring pivoted during their early ownership under Sony that backfired. It may not be DEI, but it's a bizarre obsession to pandering to minority friends group not represent. Like, what the fuck does any of this mean? What does any of this mean? And it's endless. This person actually agreeing with me. It's endless. You got to stop, man. Just stop pretending. We get it. You are the good guy. You worship inclusion. You want black people as the main characters every game. You want them to have a trans-disabled partner. We get it. But everyone's done with you and this fucking garbage. Now kindly fuck off. 4 likes. Like, it's this. It's all of this. It's all of this. That's actually a good picture of my face. Leave the women ruining your beloved franchise the billion-dollar company backs alone. You got 300 likes. They got 14,000. We all know those devs ruined the game. Like, it's so insane. These are all the comments. These are all the comments. These are the comments. These are the comments, right? This is the shit. This is the shit that I keep talking about. This is why people hate gamers, all right? Because a lot of you guys are so fucking stupid that you can't even process. You can't even, like, a person going, this person got 14,000 likes off a million views. That's a bad ratio. Most people here aren't agreeing with them. But again, you're mad. I'm gonna go big face on this for a second. I just said, I understand why you'd be mad. You were promised something and they didn't deliver. But instead of going after the person who would be responsible, Pete Parsons, that had a bunch, instead of going after Pete, like my mod said, Pete 25 classic cars Parsons, you're going after random developers. I ask you this. If I am your boss and I say, hey, you, I need you to go to this event. I have everything planned. Just be at the airport by 9 a.m. because your flight's at 11. And so you get to the airport at 9 a.m. and you find out that your boss booked you for the 9 p.m. flight, but the event is happening at 5 p.m. and he booked you for a 9 p.m. flight. And now you can't make it. Is it your fault because you showed up there? You did what your boss told you, but they gave you the wrong information. They gave you bad advice. That's poor leadership. They fucked up, but you should get the blame. If I own an airline company and I tell all my pilots that they need to fly into the ocean, and all my pilots do that, and my pilots happen to be women and trans and also straight white dudes, whatever, but it's the women's fault that the planes went into the ocean, I told them to do that. I said, everyone do this. Me, the leader, I said, do these things. But you're mad at the pilot? Like, this is what I'm talking about. There was a clear target. There's a clear person who is in charge of this shit. They are in charge of this shit. When you go to a hotel and you get shitty service, you talk to the manager because they're supposed to be running the ship. If my fucking boat crashes, I'm not going to talk to the goddamn waiter at the kitchen staff. I'm going to talk to the fucking captain because their job is to make sure the boat doesn't crash. But these fucking morons are so brain rotted that they're like, it's because of women. The game, and by the way, this has nothing to do with Marathon. Marathon did not cause Destiny 2 to cease to exist. Poor leadership skills. That's what happened. This is what's happening. But it's like, but these people are quite simply so stupid. They're so dumb. They're so brain rotted by all this culture war nonsense that they cannot even see the clear person in charge who's responsible for all of this as the one at fault. Maybe because he's a white dude, they can't picture a white man making mistakes. So they go after the women. And they will always use the Women's Day event. They will always do that. This used to be a good studio. But now, because there's women, do you think there's a fucking game studio, a AAA game studio that's comprised of mostly women? Where is that at? Haven't seen that ever. Would be kind of cool if that existed. That's not reality, though. And to somehow blame this on Marathon because they've said Marathon's woke. It's a new game. Like, Destiny's been around for a decade. It's been around. Destiny 2. When did that shit launch? Destiny 2 launched September 6th, 2017. That's damn near a decade. It's damn near a decade. And you think a game that came out, for consoles, it came out March 5th. No, period. It came out March 5th. You think a game that came out fucking 2 months ago is responsible for that? And I know, yes, it came out 2 months ago, but it means being developed. You think since 2017, they were like, okay, we're going to fuck over Destiny 2 and we're going to just do Marathon because we actually hate making money? Like that's what you think is happening? That's what you think is happening. Not this motherfucker. Not this guy. Not Pete Parsons. It's crazy how we let Pete Parsons off the hook. Pete greenlit 6 random projects with no intention of finishing them. Why is he not getting all of this hate? Appreciation thread. It wasn't Warframe, it wasn't Marathon, or even Bungie that killed actually Destiny. It was Pete. Sony Shoes went to oblivion. He lied and inflated Bungie's true value just so he could get a fat payout and golden parachute, all while still doing mass layoffs, cutting Bungie's dev size, but nearly half. He misled and lied to Sony, leading them to waste $3.7 billion and then ran the company to the ground. If that wasn't ground to the kind of lawsuit, I don't know what it is. Like, it's how is he not getting the ire, but the fucking women are? Like, this is right. Look, anytime anybody posts posts like this, it's always because International Women's Day and companies will do their photo shoot. Everyone said it looks like they'll have women, like the Playground people, Playground Games, the people who make Forza and Fable. Like, the people in his own comment section are like, you're a fucking loser for the most part for doing this. Straight white man at the top of leadership burned the company to the ground. This has zero to do with DEI, unless you stop playing the game because you're that offended of people you'll never personally interact with. Exactly. He gets everyone roasting him. What do I get? A bunch of fucking dumbasses. Except for this person. You're cool, Kenny. A bunch of fucking dumbasses, though. A bunch of goddamn dumbasses. Like, look. Yes, because it's working, right? TV shows being canceled after 1 season. LOL, movies underperforming and games all failing just because people have to carry to mentally ill. What are you talking about? TV shows being canceled after 1 season? What the fuck does that do with anything? Games all failing. All games are failing. Every game's failing. Like, do you want to know why I spent that week? Do you guys want to know why I spent that entire week talking about Anita Sarkeesian? Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why from May 11th to May 15th, I was talking about Anita Sarkeesian? It's this shit. It's right here. This is why. This is why I spent so much time talking about this. Because these people have the same brain poison that gamers had in fucking 2014. They cannot articulate why they're upset when the answer clearly is fucking capitalism. The CEO said everyone can get fucked besides me. I'm making my money. Here's my 25 fucking cars, okay? This is me. This is what I did. This is the CEO. This is your CEO, right? And then announced that he fired 220 employees. This is your CEO. Nothing for this. No fucking wheels turning in your brain telling you that the reason why this company is in this dire state that it's in is because of poor management and leadership. Just like with Ubisoft in the Guillemot family. They have been poor stewards of their studio/properties for years. And now all that shit's coming ahead to where they need certain games to sell like insane numbers. And those games were never going to do that. But now, because of the culture war, people are looking at the games and going, this is why it's failing. It's failing because it's women. It's failing because it's a game with a black person. It's failing because it's queer people, and not because of fucking leadership. It's leadership. It's always leadership. It's always leadership. No matter what, it is always leadership. Whenever you are seeing a studio make bad decisions, it's not because the developers are like, you know what? Mind you, side note, because I hate this shit. Developers have no power. I need people to understand that. A game developer, if you work for a company, you have zero power when it comes to what gets implemented, what doesn't get implemented. You don't. You can have 30 different versions of a character that you love, and then their higher ups are going to look at it and go, make it more look like this. We want it to look more like Zelda. Look at fucking Crimson Desert. You had developers who were upset that they were just taking pieces of other games and just putting it into their game. But because that was what was going to sell more by the people who decide what goes in games, that's what they did. Developers don't get to decide when something is released. Developers don't get to decide how much money is being spent on a game. They don't get to decide who's hiring the voice actors, who's hiring the actors for doing like mocap, or any of the budgetary stuff. Developers can't do that. They can't. They are given a time schedule. Our investors want their bonuses. This has to come out by this quarter so we can get the holiday bonus. Like, if developers had the power these dumbasses thought they had, every fucking company would be Valve. You get the game releases when it releases. But that's not how it works. People who create things, for the most part, do not want to put out a shit product. They don't want to put out something that's awful, but they don't have time because their funding is limited. They don't have an infinite amount of funding. I'm talking about developers who are working for these studios, not these privately owned companies that are just like, fuck you, I'm Valve, I do what I want, right? Or companies like Rockstar who have fuck you money because everyone's buying their goddamn GTA Card Shark DLCs or whatever. Like, the average developer does not have the power to do that. Does not have the power to do that. If they had the power to do that, you guys would be on like Dino Crisis fucking 30 right now. You would have a sequel to all the games you all love because the developers love working on it. But that's not how that shit works. So to put the pin the blame on all of this, what's happening with Destiny, on the developers and not the CEO or like a manager or an executive, no one gets the smoke but the developers who are busting their ass to make this shit, who, by the way, we're told, according to Paul Tassi, we're told about this shit the same time we all found out. So like, make that make sense. They're working on different shit for you, and then they find out the same time you find out that actually we're done. Like, I'm trying to calm down because I feel like I've been yelling at you guys and it's not your guys' fault. But this is why it's so insane to me that these people who swear they love video games, who swear they know about the industry, they understand, they have their finger on the pulse, they think that this is how shit works. Suicide Squad Kill Justice League was originally a Superman game to WB turned into a Suicide Squad multiplayer game. Yes, exactly. Or famously, Anthem, where the developers were still trying to figure out what they want the game to be, and then they find out there's a vertical slice of a game that doesn't exist that was put for E3 just to keep investors happy. The developers didn't decide to do that. Like, that's what happens though. They do not get the power to choose that. How many times have we heard now that developers find out they're being fired from games canceled? Exactly. And they think that, oh, well, the reason why it's getting canceled is because Bungie was appealing to the woke. What the fuck does that mean? They always default to that. They're appealing to the woke. What does that mean? What does that mean? And I know Destiny's not shutting down, but effectively it is. If they're telling you there's no more updates after June 9th of a live service game, no updates to a live service game is death. They are shuttering it. But they always go, oh, they're appealing to the woke. They're appealing to these people. But they don't ever put that into actual terms that people understand. Because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're appealing to the, oh, because they introduced a character. They introduced a character I don't like. Therefore, they're appealing to the woke. Like, oh my. It's insane. It's insane. And then on top of that, right, you have people now saying that this is Marathon's fault. And I'm like, please walk me through that. Please walk me through how a different game, same company, different game. How does Bungie working on Marathon stop them from working on this other game? When has that been a thing? Like, are we now saying that companies can't have multiple IPs out at once? That companies don't have different teams working on it? Like, it's insane. It's completely idiotic. And I'm like, how is it that we are doing this all the time? Like, what does Marathon have to do with this? Like, if this was any other company, he would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, imagine if they were like, oh, well, Blizzard was working on a new, I don't know, StarCraft game, but they stopped. Oh, it must be because of Overwatch 2. It's Overwatch 2's fault that they're not doing anymore. They're not making a StarCraft 3. Be mad at the CEO, but don't take this out on fucking Marathon. That's insane. So now do you want Bungie to just not exist anymore at all? Because if Marathon gets fucking killed, Bungie's done. So is that what you guys want now? Like, Bungie just doesn't exist anymore because they're no longer doing Destiny? Which I understand. I would be upset too if I was a huge Destiny fan. I'm with you on that. But why are we not focusing on the steps that led to them being in a situation? How is it the developer's fault? Like, it is always going to be on the head of management. Like, when you're watching like an anime, right? And it looks like dog shit. It's not because the animators have no skill. It's because of poor planning and leadership. It's because they did not schedule this with any sort of realistic deadline. It's not because they hired an animator who was like, actually, I'm gonna make all these characters look ugly because this is my political belief system. Because they didn't have time. And then my favorite is when they go like, oh, but look at the concurrence, and this is, they're gonna kill Destiny for a game that barely gets 88,000. Destiny and fucking Marathon are completely different games. Like, why do people act as if brand recognition isn't a thing? I'm completely just fucking floored by like just the overall level of discourse we have nowadays. Like, people are just angry, which I understand, but also just so gullible. So gullible. I feel better. I feel better now because Jesus Christ, you guys.